Okay, folks, we're back. And Dwayne, let's pick up on that subject of abstaining.
Maybe time goes by so fast. Probably 25 years now, maybe 20. And when we used to go to Las Vegas about twice a year, and we would do a lot of the shows and stuff. And we were at a show, and it doesn't matter who or what it was, except that they had two shows at night, one at 8 and one at 10:30. And the 10:30 said, right explicitly, 18 plus. Same show. Well, there's a reason for that. The second one was 18 plus. The showgirls and all the stuff were topless. At the earlier show, they weren't. So they set us in it wasn't like a theater. They were like round half booths.
Okay.
Half booths, and then they were on tiers. So you're always facing and so you got 4 people. It was Monica and I and another couple there. We didn't know who they were. But they were very friendly, and from Georgia or Mississippi, someplace down there. And with the show came 2 or 3 complimentary cocktails. And so the waitress comes around and she says, "What would you like?" And Monica, she got, I don't know what she got, a glass of wine. I said, like a Tanger or Martini, very dry, straight up. It gets to these 2. And they do this. "Gee, I don't know." And she says, looks over at us and she's, "We're Baptists and we don't drink, so we don't know anything about this stuff." And one of them's saying something about, "Well, I heard of a drink called Manhattan, something New York." The waitress says, "Yeah, I think it'll be all right, wouldn't it, honey, if we tried one of those?" "Oh, I think so." And yeah, like hell. These 2 slurped down more damn booze faster than any 2 people. And every time they get a new one, they say, "I don't know. We may have to, I don't know. I don't know what's the matter with us. Oh, hell, bring us another one," And then the thing is going on, and the show starts, and they say, "Oh my," particularly the wife, "We didn't know this was topless." I said, "Well, that's why it says nobody under 18. "Oh my," I said, "Oh," and they're both he and on, and their eyes are about this big.
They didn't get up and stomp out in disgust, did they?
Not did they not get up. But towards the end, there was a seat up front. They got up and they moved up closer. I said to Monica, "Have you ever seen 2 more hypocritic a-holes than these 2?
I've seen them, yeah.
Oh my God! And they had to justify everything, every drink. "Oh, I don't know. This."
I gassed up at a gas station in Iuka, Mississippi, in my travels. The guy was a hot ticket. And I think I've told this story before, but back in the old days, when you were gassing up your own, there was a crank, and it would reset the numbers.
That's right, it was.
And so I gassed up.
That is going back.
It is. Plus,
I remember that little
he
crank.
never changed either. So I went back and I went in. By the way, he had binoculars, and he'd look, $8.80, sir. And so I said, "Okay, here's 10 spot, Well, you're not from around here, are you?" I said, No. "Where are you from?" I said, "Massachusetts." "Oh, well, tell you what, Mr. Massachusetts." He reaches under the counter, pulls out a couple of styrofoam cups, and pours about 4 fingers of, I forget what it was, Canadian Club, I think, in, and says, "Well," he said, "just so you don't get the opinion that we're not friendly down here," he says, "let's drink a toast to Massachusetts." Knocked it down. He's pouring again. He said, now he says, I'll probably get in trouble with this. He said, the Baptists down here don't go for me drinking. He said, I have to keep it down below the counter and all. He said, you're not going to tell anybody, are you? He said, not that I give a crap anyway.
The Baptist friends of ours. Baptists have fun, you just can't catch them at it.
That's right, yeah. I mean, for God's sakes. Ay. Well, here's the end of this statistics.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So of the heavy drinkers, 5.1%, whites are 6.4%, blacks 2.9%, Hispanic 2.6%, and Asians 2%.
Okay, that's probably
I
about
think
right.
that's
probably fair.
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more whites because, let's face it, it's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Rapper Cardi B is mad at Biden and won't and can't vote for Trump. So she says, I perhaps will not vote. And she's making a big splash on the media about
How are we
this.
going to survive if...
Who the hell cares?
I don't know.
And who is rapper Cardi B?
I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to feel too stupid.
Yeah. I mean, these people think that the world rotates around them. The average cost of one child in childcare has jumped
big today.
dramatically.
My God.
$11,500 a year. Yep. It went up during the pandemic, and once again, what went up during the pandemic hasn't necessarily come down. And its rents and salaries have skyrocketed.
We lucked out on that. We only got one child. And moved to Brockton. We met this lady who was just retiring as a kindergarten teacher. She was not going to go back teaching. She was going to get a daycare, and she was taking 4 or 6 kids. I mean, she was so inexpensive. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the same deal. We lucked into it.
And she not just daycare. She ran it like a kindergarten.
Yeah.
They had classes, and they would read, and he could read already at 4. Wow. Because, they had reading classes. They had all this kind of stuff in there.
That's really something.
We said, how come we couldn't teach this kid any discipline? Like there, if they're on the wall, they got to pick everything up and everything has to be in their place. At home, he was a little terror, but he walked through that door and he completely changed.
Well, we had the same situation. We must have had the same person.
Yeah.
Grammy Metcalf?
Oh, but we still are good friends with him. Well, her. Unfortunately, Frank passed away. Frank was one of the most put-together guys I've ever seen in my life. He was a former priest. He was a chaplain in the Army. He was in Special Forces. He's Ranger certified, jump certified, a man's man. But the nicest guy you ever want to meet.
Wow.
He did the, what do they call it, officiating at my son's wedding. And he, just really nice. He had this little homily, and it got everybody laughing and feeling good. And they were really nice people to be around.
By gosh, by golly. You're sticking your thumb and you pull out a plum occasionally.
He had 3 stepkids that he adopted when they married Jenny. Nicest 2 girls and a guy. Nicest kids you ever see.
Wow. That's great. That is great.
We met him about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Guess where?
Where?
Plain Ridge. No, we made a deal where we were going to meet there for lunch.
Yeah. Wow. Speaking of men that are men, Lieutenant Benjamin, Alfred Benjamin, of the Army Air Corps' 384th Bomb Group, just had his 100th birthday.
I think I just saw a blurb in the paper about that.
Yep. And it went, at age 19, he was assigned in the crew of the B-17 at a pickup point in Kearney, New Hampshire. Went to New Hampshire and flew Kearney, Nebraska. Flew to New Hampshire,
Yep.
then to Newfoundland, and then Iceland before arriving at Grafton, Underwood, England.
8th Air Force.
Yep. Fought July 44 through January 45. He went on missions, and they got knocked down. The plane got knocked down.
That wasn't a rarity.
They landed in Belgium. They found his way out with the Belgian underground. And that was his 13th mission. He got back to his company and from the hospital, and the hospital said, "Do you want to go home? Because we can send you home." And he said,
A lot of
"No."
them didn't. They want to go back.
He said, "I want to go back to my unit." And he flew 18 more missions.
People today do not realize the mortality rate on something like the 8th Air Force flying bombing runs over Germany and France and Belgium and that. But they had a mortality rate of 10%. If they sent out 100 planes, on the average, 90 would come back. That means 10 were gone. And there were 10 servicemen in each plane.
That's right.
That's 100 servicemen that were shot down that either got captured or killed at that point. Now, it didn't take these guys long to do the math. And I forgot what at first they had to start with 15 missions or something like that.
Went to 24.
Yeah, it went to 24, 20,
Yeah.
way up. Or even the beginning, the guy says, "Well, if I got to do 15 and it's 10% for mortality rate here or fatality rate," he says, "Yeah, it don't look too good for me."
No, the odds are definitely not in my favor.
They had one of the highest casualty
yeah,
rates of any
Yes,
service in World War II. But when you think about that, you think, well, no, that's kind of a, so they get in a plane, they fly, they drop bombs from 20,000 feet, and they go back and have dinner. But it was tough.
It was very tough.
Yep.
How about the guy that was a belly gunner?
Oh, my God.
You know, the belly gunner on a B-17 is put in on an angle, and he has a bubble, and inside the bubble he's there with the machine gun. So you go on a 3 or 4 hour mission. It's cold, okay? He cannot get up out of that position on his own.
No, he's cramped in there.
Yeah.
He's just curled up like a little egg inside that.
And the cold, everything, he's sort of semi-paralyzed in that position, okay? Well, guess what? The plane gets shot up. 2 or 3 guys are killed. He's stuck in the belly bubble. The landing gear won't come down.
His bubble is going to rub on that runway.
And yeah,
Yep, he's done.
and there's nothing that could be done about it. That happened.
Oh, it happens more than once.
Now, it just didn't happen once, folks. These guys just, and some of them got their, well, I think towards the end of the war, I believe it was closer to 30.
It was 30
missions.
something.
Yeah. And they said, "No, I'll fly a couple more. Nope, I don't want to give up yet. The rest of my crew is here. I'm going to stick with them."
And when Bill said it was cold, it's not cold. It's freezing. That's like 40 below zero
Yeah.
outside.
25,000 feet up.
And don't forget, these planes were not pressurized nor heated.
That's right.
They were open. The side gunners had this big 4 by 4 foot open window that they stood next to. Now, they did wear something called an electric suit. It was supposed to be heated. But these guys still were freezing all the time. They were so cold. And when I was in Vietnam, you moved by helicopter. You couldn't move on the ground. And I was amazed how there could be 100 degrees on the ground. And at 6,000 or 7,000, even 6,000 or 7,000 feet, you're freezing already in the helicopter. My God, it got so cold so fast.
Yeah.
It felt so good to come back down where it was 100 degrees again, or warm.
It's amazing. And this guy, his 100th birthday, he has more than a dozen medals from the U.S. and the French governments. He hasn't said a word about them and doesn't now. He is simply happy to have served. He has nothing more to say.
Yeah,
That this is a man.
Yep.
That is a man.
You betcha.
Now, the other side of the coin, Hub Man allegedly shot laser at helicopter.
Oh my God.
They got him.
Good.
Philip Gagnon, 59.
Wasn't even a kid, he was an adult.
No.
Crazy.
And they got him. Well, I'll tell you, the helicopter pilot could not land. It was a training mission. Could not land at Mass General Hospital. He had to go to another hospital that had a landing point that he could access. Well, the last year, pilots reported 13,000 laser strikes.
That's amazing.
It is. That's a spike of 41% from 2022.
Some sick SOB is just trying to see what I can stir up for excitement here. Maybe it'll crash and I can watch it.
We talked about a man. This is a rotten, stinking coward.
Yep.
And whatever they do to him, it's not enough.
That's right.
What in heaven's name? He's trying to get the thing to crash.
That's what he's doing.
To what end? To kill
Just
the people on
for a
board?
thrill, yeah, for a thrill, his own little thrill.
And, but you know what? Well, you know, he's a sick man. He should be tried for attempted murder. Put right in someplace
I agree.
else.
You can't let these characters around.
No. Dwayne, I got another serious subject here. Seriously.
I believe you.
State to scrutinize limits on winning sports bettors. A guy in Massachusetts cashed a $13,500 hit on a $375 wager.
Okay.
Okay, the wager was that on a non-quarterback throwing a touchdown pass in Super Bowl 58. He bet $375 that there would be one.
Got bigger ones than I got.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah.
He got $13,500.
Now, is the state whining or is it the betting company whining?
Actually, doesn't FanDuel,
Okay.
which is local.
Yep. Now,
do you know what FanDuel has done when
What?
they paid him?
what?
They cut his wages to $50. He cannot bet more than $50.
Oh, you mean his bet?
Yeah.
The chances of ever hitting something like that again in a lifetime is almost zero.
Yeah, but Dwayne, they've given lots of examples of guys hitting parlays and having them reduced down.
I'm sure they do.
So, what about the people that lose all the time?
Oh no, that doesn't count.
Oh, I see. So the ones that get a gambling problem, that keep on plunging, they keep on taking their money.
Isn't it worse? I don't know what's become of it, but there's some lawsuits out there with these FanDuels and all the rest of these betting companies. somebody will hit one of these big parlays. And for most of these, parlays are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
You got to bet on a series of things happening, you know, and the volcano at Blue Hills has to erupt again after 25,000 years, and then this has to happen. Then you can bet big money.
Oh, yeah.
But if you put enough, what is that thing? If you got enough monkeys and typewriters, eventually one of them's going to type up the great books or something. If you put enough bets out there, regardless what it is, eventually it could come up.
So,
Here, go ahead.
here is the big fallacy. If you hit something, oh, well, we're restricting the size of your bets from now on. Okay? And by the way, DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, Fanatics, ESPN, and Bally's are all licensed
Oh, yeah.
in Massachusetts. None of them would comment on this.
No, they won't comment.
Afterwards, the whisper was, well, it's cutting into our profitability.
Well, of course it cuts your
Yes,
bottom line.
exactly.
If you're not supposed to hit this.
Exactly.
Now, there's a lawsuit or two out there with people that have hit one of these big parlays. They don't want to pay it. They say it's a fat finger situation, which means when the person was taking the bet, they pushed the wrong button someplace. That's their defense against it. They're fighting it in court over that. Now that's dirty.
Well,
If you took his money-
the ticket would have read wrong then.
Yeah.
Well, the idiot that's buying the ticket certainly would have stood there and looked at the ticket, wouldn't he have?
Yeah, he'd say, I don't want this.
Yeah.
But it was what he bought.
Yeah.
But they're saying, well, the
He probably
tabulator,
bought
where
half a dozen.
he pressed the wrong button there, and that's why it come up that way.
Tough shit.
Yeah, that's right. Tough Tululu. If you take the bet, pay the bet.
You've got to.
Because you have no qualms about taking that guy's $375 on that bet that somebody other than a quarterback's going to throw a touchdown.
Now, here's the big gripe I have with all of this advertising on sports betting.
Yep.
Listen to Sports Hub or listen to the other bunch of morons. At 12:10, Mike and I will give you our picks for the parlay. They don't push individual games.
No.
They push parlays.
Well,
and you know why?
Sure.
Because they make more money on parlays.
course.
They don't hit.
Yeah, the odds are so long on it that.
Yeah. You know, I played with the football cards. You remember them?
Yeah.
Came up from Rhode Island.
Yeah, every coffee truck that comes to a factory or a place, he was always a bookie. He always carried the cards. And, oh yeah, I bought a card every week, 2 cards every week.
I hit a 14 parlay.
I never hit a. I didn't get nothing. 10, 12 bucks.
And I bet $2 on a 14 parlay. I got a $28 payoff.
Yeah.
Paid 14 to 1. I look at some of the odds that they're talking about. They're paying garbage for a 14 parlay.
Yeah.
8 to 1, 7 to 1.
Well, that's why they're in business.
Yeah. But who listens to those sports call-in shows? Yeah. Well, they're not Einsteins, let me tell you.
The serious bettors are not going to Sports Hub to put the money down.
And they're not playing 14 parlays.
No,
either.
they're calling up Louis.
That's right. That's right. And that's one of the reasons that these guys, profitability is a problem. Because the gamblers are going to go see Louis.
Yeah. And you win with Louis, there ain't no IRS involved.
No. In fact, a friend of mine hit some sports bet, and it was a $350 payoff. And he got a phone call from Louis, and be at the can you be at the Club Dags? That was in the center of Mansfield. 8 o'clock. Yeah. A fellow will come in with a paper bag for you.
Yeah. Pay it off, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And this guy came in, looked like the ugliest man in the world,
Yeah.
the biggest guy in the world, and you know he's packing.
Of course.
He's got $350
Yeah.
for you. It's in a bag because he's not going to take it out and count
No,
it.
of course not.
Go in the men's room and count it. He said, no, I trust you, you know. So,
Yep.
see you later. And at that, he's gone. And he had other paper bags to distribute, too. And that's how they did it.
They've been doing that for 100 years.
And if they ever welch out on a bet,
Yeah, whether
the
they're done as
serious
a,
bettors are going to come after him with a gun.
yeah, and they're done. I mean,
That's
nobody will ever trust them again.
Yeah. But the state is mishandling this
Oh,
whole gambling situation. And they are playing with the minds of children. Now, no better authority than Elizabeth Warren says brains don't mature until 26.
That's right.
But we let them bet at 18. Or, Dad, can I use your phone for a minute? The 14-year-old places.
Yeah, I don't know how they can supervise or filter out the underage people online.
can't.
You can't do it.
Now, if the underage guy hits, well, he's going to get Dad to go collect it
Yeah,
for him, or
exactly.
an older person. Yeah. The Brits have got it right. The betting shops.
The fact that this brings another Vegas story. One time, late at night, at I think it was Excalibur. In fact, I know it was Excalibur. I'm playing a set of machines. Monica's down here. There's about 4 or 5 machines in front of us, between us. There's 2 kids down there. Iffy whether they're either. All of one comes up to me, he says, "Mister," he says, "would you help me?" I said, "What?" "I just hit a jackpot." He says, "I'm afraid to go get the guy to pay it." He says, I said, "Well, why?" "We're not 21, and I'm going to have to show an ID." He said, "Would you claim that jackpot for me? And I'll give you." I said, "Nope." I said, "You're on your own."
Yeah. The tax liability is on you
You?
as soon as you give your ID.
Well, it's not that. He was underage. He couldn't collect it. And I said, "You see them little black spots, them little balls all over? Those are cameras. They're watching us right now. They know that that machine has hit a jackpot. They're already aware of that. You're on your own, pal." I said, "I'm not getting involved in this."
No, you can't. Well,
And I don't know where the hell he went after that, but I said, "Monica, I'm not, even if you give me half, I'm still not going to get involved in it."
yeah.
It wasn't $1 million, probably $1,000 or $2,000. It was more than $1,200 because that's the payout level. Well, I think it was probably a $1,500 hit. It was not too unusual in those kind of machines. But they come over, they want your ID, they want your driver's license, and because they got to put it in for IRS.
Of course.
And the kid doesn't have an ID that says he's 21 years old. Well, maybe you shouldn't have been playing in the first place.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't be here. Well, I don't know. How about ex-flight attendant accused of filming girl?
Oh, I remember that story too. From a little while back.
No, again, a different one.
Oh, another one.
Yep. He was arrested in a Boston-bound plane filming a teenage girl in the bathroom. Come to find out, this guy's been arrested for this before.
I don't know why they think they're going to get away with it.
What? First of all, he had, by the way, filmed a total of 4 girls
Okay.
in his phone, which he taped somehow in the bathroom. But would you tell me what that's all about?
I have no idea.
That's first question. Second question is, doesn't he belong in Guantanamo Bay with the rest of them?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, he'll get a slap on the hand now. Oh, well, Here's a $1,000 fine.
And
you're going to have to undergo counseling.
if he's a, what do they call him, voyeur,
yeah.
today, you don't have to do that. Pick up your computer. There's a million sites free.
At least 1 million.
I mean, why do you go through all that to satisfy some perversion that you've got? Just click on any number of websites.
Yeah.
And no one cares.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's anonymous. Who cares?
No one cares. It's legal. It's
Israeli army finds bodies of 3
I
hostages.
saw that. I think I would not be surprised, Bill, and I hope it's not true, but I suspect that probably a rather alarming percentage of the hostages that are still hostages are not alive anymore.
I think they're all dead.
You think they're all dead?
Yeah.
It could be.
Look, I mean, these butchers that did cut the heads off babies.
Yeah, I know.
They got no compunctions.
to
And
keep
they
them alive.
also don't want to have to herd these people around.
That's the whole point. They
and
can't
feed them and keep them
Yeah.
alive and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, just get rid of them.
And they're soulless bastards.
Oh, they don't think ahead at all. They don't. There's no.
And for us to be pussyfooting around about, well, man, we want our hostages back, and it ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not. This is a beautiful story.
What's that?
The ex-DEI head gets 5 years in prison for stealing millions of dollars. Barbara Furlow Smiles pleaded guilty in December to stealing more than $5 million from 2 massive companies, Facebook and Nike.
Now, she
She's
sold
just-
how much?
$5 million,
She got how much time?
5 years. Yeah, $1
And
million
crime
a
doesn't
year.
pay?
Yeah.
That's $1 million a year.
She brought dozens of people into her scheme, prosecutors said, including relatives, former interns, nannies, a hairstylist, blah, 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 blah. And the interesting thing is that she used the stolen cash to fund a luxury lifestyle. I blew it big time, Furlow Smiles admitted in her letter to the judge in her case. She said, yes, and her attorney said, he asked the court not to put her behind bars, saying she got caught up in Facebook's move fast and break things culture.
She got to have an excuse, but I think that 5 years for $5 million is a little bit on the light side.
Yeah, considering, the enormity of this and her lackadaisical attitude about
Oh, yeah,
it.
they don't
I
care.
did it to raise hell.
Yep. Another thing we got to watch out for. And I picked this up yesterday, and it's probably going to be true. We have a lot of wood ticks right now. We've come off a mild winter, 2 mild winters. We only had 1 good freeze not this winter, the winter before we got down to 6 below or something like that one night. And this winter we didn't hardly anything.
No.
And a lot of rain, and wood ticks love that stuff.
Yep.
And I don't know about you guys, but I am a tick magnet. I wish I was a chick magnet, but I'm a tick magnet. I can pull out ticks. The whole damn neighborhood come to my yard, I think, and wait for me. Or mosquitoes bite me. If a mosquito bites me, people usually just get a little bit. I get a big old rash from it.
Oh, boy.
If a tick bites me, I'm end up going to the doctor and getting shots.
Yep.
And we can be out in the backyard, Monica and I both walking out around someplace. She has never had a tick. I come in, I always take my shirt off. I said, all right, look at me because I can't see back there. She said, oh, you got one here, you got one here. I said, what the hell? Why did they get on me? So, but anyway, be careful. And that thing that about, they used to say they were only deer ticks and they were the size of them.
Yep.
All ticks carry.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know what university has done, looking at emerging ticks this spring in Massachusetts. 27% were carrying disease.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I was very sick with
Lyme?
Lyme disease.
Yeah, I've had it too.
I've had that. And it was interesting because they couldn't tell me what was wrong with me.
They didn't know for a while.
And they sent the blood out to the University of Denver, Colorado, and it was like 4 weeks before they actually pinned it down. And it was the Lyme disease, the tick disease that starts with A.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, and I can never remember the name of it, Asmopolis or something like that. And once they found out what it was, then I could get treated, you know. But I'll tell you what, I was sick as a dog. And my doctor said to me, this is interesting, Bill. He said, we could not find out, the people here locally, the blood tests, could not find out what it was. We thought it was Lyme disease. We couldn't find the marker in your blood.
Yep.
It wasn't. It was this A thing. And it was hiding in your Lyme disease marker from before.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, but I've never had Lyme disease.
You probably had.
And my doctor
They
said,
didn't know what it was.
Bill, you have had it many times.
That's what mine told me too.
Yeah.
She says, you've had this stuff. So she said, I'm amazed that you can still get it. You've got so many different kind of antibodies flowing through your body. She says, you're allergic to you react to almost everything that bites you, or like poison ivy, poison oak. God almighty. I end up going to a dermatologist if I go because I got to get shots in the arms.
Yeah. During trapping season, I would get a rash on my hands. And I would go to the dermatologist down in Mansfield, and he'd give me these things, pills. And, all right, take 10 the first
day,
night,
then 9, then 8. You gotta work your way off them.
And he says, if you miss a night, you got to start all over again. Yeah.
I got one time poison oak or poison sumac. He wasn't sure what it was. One of the tree ones. I helped a friend of mine cut down a tree next to his garage, and they wanted $350 for it to come in and drop that tree. And I said, nah. I cut a lot of trees. I said, I can drop that tree. I won't hit your driveway. I won't hit your. So he said, well, be careful. He said, there's a poison something growing up in a vine through it. He says, one of his kids gets rash from it. I said, oh, don't worry about it. I said, I got long sleeve shirts on. I won't touch it. I'm just going to cut it off, drop it. I'll cut it up in pieces, and you get rid of it. Well, I got dumbass. It's fine growing up there. Well, that means it's got vines or a feed coming up the side all the way. So I'm, cutting away with a chainsaw, and this crap is flying all over. That was Saturday. Monday, I wake up, my arms look like Popeye, just like big like that. I'm actually oozing a bloody stuff through the pores of my skin. Oh my God. Monica don't even want me in the bed because she says, you're going to get it all over everything. Well, first thing I did when I got up, I called a dermatologist there in North Attleboro. He said, well, I can get you in at 11:30. So I went in, he says, oh my God, what'd you do? I said, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever it is, it doesn't like you. He gave me a cortisone shot, and he right in the arm, and he shot, and then he gave me, there was 10, 9, 8.
Yep.
But by the time I got back to the office, which was maybe 15 minutes, my arms had gone right down, and there was hardly any symptoms left. That's how fast those cortisone reacted to them.
My brother-in-law lives next door to me, and last time he got bit by a tick, and he's an outdoorsman, 5 days in the hospital. The ambulance had to take him. He was so sick. And his son, my nephew Jack, has been in the hospital with tick bites. And my doctor has told me that if I have a tick crawling on me, pick them off and come and call me, and I'll get you. I'll put you on doxycycline for 14
Yeah, that's
days.
the standard treatment for it.
Boy.
And I lied. It was 38% of the embryos this spring were packing some kind of disease.
Well, that's even better.
Oh, yeah. And what I was going to mention is that DEET is a good one that's in mosquito repellent.
Yeah.
That also repels ticks. But most of the DEET that you buy your mosquito repellent has got 6, 7, 8% DEET. Go, and I don't know if they still have it because I bought a lot of it. I still got it. Go to Home Depot, not Home Depot, Bass Pro Shop. Go downstairs in the camping department. They've got DEET that is real DEET. They got 75% DEET.
Beautiful.
Now you can't put that on your skin. That's to put on your
gear,
on your tent and your stuff. But you can put that on your pants. Or if you're allergic, just rub some on your shoes. But they've got some 30, 35% that you can put on you too, which is about, I don't know what, 8, 10 times as powerful as the one you buy at the supermarket.
Of course, your arm falls off afterwards.
Oh, of course. It turns blue. But it works.
Yeah, it does work.
If I take the time, I'm usually protected. But again, if you're out any place that you think there's going to be a tick, have somebody else look at you because they love to go where you can't see.
That's right.
They want to be the dark, moist, warm places. I find them sometimes in the back here and under my armpits. And
yeah, I had one, the hell was it? Down in here this year. Yeah. 14 days on Doxy.
Yep.
Dwayne.
Yep.
The last two things I wanted to get to. Let's get to them and find out what you got over there. Let's get ready to rumble. Trump and Biden agreed to debate. What changed both of their minds about this? I mean, Biden initiated this.
Well,
is this desperation?
No, I think it was a good political move.
You think?
Yep. I think that they were hoping he's going to do another clown act like he did the last time. He lost a lot of, people forget, but the next day and a couple days afterward, people said, that guy is a crackpot. He couldn't behave, he couldn't follow any kind of rules, and he was like a 10-year-old, out of control. I think that's what the Biden camp is counting on again.
Yeah, but rolling the dice, I mean, this man's not with it, Biden.
Oh, no, of course not.
I mean, you could put a cigar store Indian up there and it would be better for him. I mean, he's taken an awful chance of exposing himself as, wow.
I don't know.
I think it's desperation, Dwayne. I think he felt he had to do it. Also,
that I agree with.
Yeah, I also think
you can't step away now.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And he's being driven by his wife, his sister, Barack Obama. They're the ones that a couple of Obama's advisors too. They're the ones that actually are setting policy, and they send him out to talk about it.
That's pretty much SOP on a lot of
Oh, sure.
presidents. They are more, the president's sort of the figurehead out there. He's got all these entities feeding into him what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. He doesn't really have all them policies. He doesn't, that's not his policies.
No, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when he can't explain his policy,
Well,
is
that's
where-
because, it wasn't his to start with.
Once he gets off the little list he has in his hand, he's done.
But his opponent, once he gets off the teleprompter, God help you, you don't know where he's going.
Well,
You
you know
don't
what, you
understand-
say that, but yet I think that Trump has most effective when he walks to the helicopter and he walks by the string of reporters
There.
and he speaks to all of them.
When he's up at a podium and he starts this, and he's off and he's starting to tell fib after fib, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the more they applaud, the more he exaggerates. You know, he's not helping himself doing that. What the hell did he do the other night? Oh, craziness. Just, man, he loses all sense of reality when he's doing that.
We're seeing two different Trumps, you and I.
Well, watch what he's saying and listen to what he's saying.
I've been watching, I've been listening, but I think
What did he
he's.
say the other night? It was just, just absurd. I forgot now. I don't pay that much attention to him because he just can't say it's, I have 6 of these. He has to make it 12 or 14 or 18. It has to be bigger and better than anybody's ever had. I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust. I don't distrust Biden so much, but I don't think he has any competency. I totally distrust Trump. He's a man that was, I'm in it for me. What do I get out of this? If I don't get something out of this, it ain't happening.
You know, now that's where I really disagree with you.
I'm going to give you a good
He's got
example.
everything. He's got money.
Well, I know, I mean,
I
but still-
really think he's in it because he's got an ego is the size of the state of Rhode Island. Okay? And he's saying, I can be a better president than that guy.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have a hell of a lot better advisors than the other guys to start with.
Yeah.
But the I don't know where the hell I was going with this.
Yeah.
It's just like, whoa, come back, come back.
So, I have that happen all the time. I'll be talking to someone and
Then I
wait
had
for a lull
the
in
sequence, the idea
conversation.
sequence all
Yeah.
lined up too, and it just broke
Yeah,
apart.
Then you can't remember what the hell it
I
was
don't
you
even
were
know.
going to say.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Well, I'll tell
Oh,
you
well.
what. I think that this, I really and truly believe
10.
there's one person that can stop Donald Trump from winning the election.
That's
And
Donald
that's
Trump.
Donald Trump.
That's right. That's what I believe that too.
Yeah.
He can be his own worst enemy.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know who can tame him down.
I don't know.
But somebody, and I'd like to get down there and tell him before I'd like to be the guy that briefs him. Because I would tell him, for God's sake, you've got the election sewed up. Shut your mouth.
I heard a couple of legal beavers, actually it was 4 of them, discussing whether his team should let him testify on this
Yeah, that
last
mess.
case. And they said, oh my God, that would be a disaster.
Yep, it would be.
To let him go up there and just turn him loose, he said the prosecution will eat him up.
He is, if there's any justice in the world, the judge is going to throw this whole mess out. But you know what? He's a big, long-time Democrat too.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to get a conviction of something.
But you look at it, Bill. I don't know. I cannot believe that we are got a presidential candidates. One, the guy can hardly wipe his own behind, and the other one is so down in a sewer someplace with his actions and his just.
One of them is a very tough street fighter that goes for the throat. The other one is dead from the neck up.
Dead from the neck up.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel bad. Now, this Mr. Republican here, but I feel bad when I see Biden talk and get confused and
I do
stumble.
too, because we get to that. We're on the edge of that sometimes, and I know how frustrating it can be. I just had it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, I can imagine standing in front of a microphone and there's 40 million people hanging on your words, and you get this boop. You know, it's got to be very frustrating. But you know, you or I would not run this thing out this far. They used to say we'd go to the dog track, meaning we'd retire. Well, if I was somebody like Biden, I would have retired 10 years ago.
Power is
Yeah,
the most powerful aphrodisiac going.
Yep.
And the other guy, same difference.
Same thing.
Yep. You know why, Dwayne? Really? Who the hell would want to be president?
I don't know.
It is 8 years of your life down the tubes.
Yep. That's when they asked, the hell was it, the black general there a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, Colin Powell.
Colin Powell, about running for president. It's not me. That's not me. I don't want to get involved in that.
No. And it's so many compromises you have to make with your own belief.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Your own beliefs in life, that, like abortion, which I guess is a perfect example. Biden goes to mass every morning.
Yeah.
And yet, he's the most pro-abortion president we've ever had.
Bill, this is an enigma that I could never come to justification of why. But it's not just now. You go back to, a good one was Ted Kennedy. There was never a bigger abortionist than Ted Kennedy, pro-abortionist. Yet there was never a stronger, upfront Roman Catholic, Irish Catholic than Ted Kennedy. The support the priests and the nuns and everything, and then he'd turn around and go the abortion route, and they would actually look away and for you know, not even to mention it. I don't understand that. I don't understand Biden going to church and then being an abortionist. Then I really don't understand is the people in the church not saying, "Oh no, you're not coming in here like that."
That's exactly right.
They will bend the rules. I don't understand. I'm not a real religious person to start with, but
it's right and wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Either if you believe it's wrong, it's wrong. If you don't believe it's wrong, then it's not wrong.
That's right. Yeah.
But
and when you're elected president, you got to take your right and your wrongs and throw them out the window.
Yep.
They don't count
Fine,
anymore.
Bill.
You've got to be able to do whatever it is the electorate expects of you.
I meant to bring back today, when we were talking a little while ago about prices going up and things, there's a chart in today's Globe of what things have risen from 1920 or 2021 in percentage and by category, and it's really interesting. And this is Massachusetts, and if you look at it, there's some reasons for them too. First, the highest is eggs.
Yeah.
We brought that on ourselves.
Oh yeah.
With that stupid vote. We vote for these crazy things that you can't sell an egg in Massachusetts that unless they're cage free and they provide.
There's not a brain in a chicken's head.
Hell no.
He doesn't know whether he's cage free.
He
or
wants
in
something
a
to
cage.
eat and be warm. That's all she cares for. She's not looking for a date for the prom and a limo and everything else. It's just nuts that we vote for this stuff. We did this thing with pork. But that's the highest inflation rate in
Yeah.
it. And some of the other things were sugars. Anything, if you looked at the list, was high concentration of sugars.
Yeah.
And that is Biden and Trump. Trump put a really strong tariff on imported sugars.
Mm-hmm.
Imported the sugar market and worldwide was in the hopper, way down. And I can see why he did it. The beet growers and the corn people, they were screaming bloody murder. They couldn't. And then now, of course, that raised the price of sugar way up. And now that, of course, has raised the price of anything with it. And a lot of
rental property is now more expensive
Yeah.
than buying a home.
than buying a home.
Yeah, that's just totally upside down.
That's another thing. I don't think that the younger people are looking to buy.
They're frustrated.
Yeah, too, Bill.
Yep. They're very, very frustrated. They don't know what to do. But, you know, when you take a look at a 7% mortgage versus my 3.2, I think, percent mortgage I have, I mean, I would never, ever sell my house with the idea that I was going to buy something else.
No, that's what I was saying. One thing I read, that people don't want to give up that great mortgage they got.
Being a kid today is not easy.
Oh God, I just can't imagine what they're going to go through.
No. You know, and another thing too, kids, we've got to reinstitute the draft.
Yep. If not the draft, a national service problem.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Because we are getting, our military is stripped bare.
Yep.
God forbid we actually end up having to defend ourselves.
One out of four can't pass the exam getting in the physical or the mental exam to get into the military.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and that used to be the dump, where if the kid couldn't do anything or he got in trouble, they'd stick him in the military.
That's right. The judge would say, two choices. You're going to go to reform school or you're going to go
Joe
to
and
the
I know
army.
that. I used to get them cases, go and see that judge and say, do you want this kid in the foxhole with your kid? No. Well, neither does any other parent. So we're not a penal institution. Just stop sending these kids to us.
Yeah.
They didn't listen.
No, people don't listen to us.
Because in those days it was easier. In the Army or jail.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, Dwayne, I think we've run out the string here, partner.
Yeah, you're giving us the, I don't know what that means, but.
Oh, that means shut up,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, but he's too polite to say that.
I know, he's such a nice guy.
Yep. We do have a wonderful producer, and he's telling us it is over. So, folks, on that note, before Andrew comes in here and strangles us, we must say goodbye.
Adios.
Take care of yourselves, and stay out of the heat because it's going to be warm the next few days. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Enjoy the spring.
Thank you.